You're scrolling through a dozen gaming laptops, and every time you click on a spec sheet you start wondering if you're about to drop hard-earned cash on a machine that will sit idle in a drawer. You don't want to waste money on the wrong thing, and you need to know whether the Dell Pro 16 Plus actually lives up to the hype for someone who wants to game a little, work a lot, and stay portable. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of situation where the Pro 16 Plus makes sense. Imagine you're a freelance designer or a data analyst who travels between client sites, needs a reliable Windows 11 Pro environment, and occasionally wants to unwind with a few AAA titles after a long day of spreadsheets. You also value having a lot of RAM for multitasking and a fast SSD that can launch heavy apps in seconds. In that scenario, the Dell Pro 16 Plus checks a lot of boxes: a 16-inch FHD Plus panel that's bright enough for indoor work and decent for gaming, 32 GB of DDR5 memory that lets you keep Photoshop, Excel, and a game client open simultaneously, and a 1 TB PCIe SSD that wipes away load times. The inclusion of Wi-Fi 6E and a wired RJ45 port means you won't be scrambling for a stable connection when you need to upload large files or join a low-latency match. Now, let's be clear about the gaming side of things. The machine is built around an Intel Ultra 7265U processor. That chip is fantastic for AI-enhanced office tasks and light content creation, but it's not a dedicated graphics powerhouse. It relies on Intel's integrated graphics, which can handle indie games, older titles, and even some newer games at reduced settings, but you shouldn't expect buttery smooth 1080p 60 on demanding AAA releases. If you sit down to play Cyberpunk 2077 or Elden Ring with the settings turned up, you'll quickly notice frame rate drops and occasional stuttering. For a gamer who lives for high refresh rates and maxed out visuals, this notebook will feel like a compromise. Heat and fan noise are two of the most common pain points for any laptop that tries to juggle work and play. In real-world testing, the Ultra 7 chip stays relatively cool during office workloads. Typing, video calls, and spreadsheet crunching keep the fans at a barely audible hum. When you push the system with a game that taxes the integrated graphics, the temperature climbs, and the fans kick in noticeably. The noise is not deafening, but it's definitely audible on a quiet desk or in a shared space. If you're the type who gets annoyed by a whirring fan while trying to focus on a meeting, you'll want to factor that in. Battery life tells a similar story. Dell advertises a solid endurance for business use, and on a typical workday email, web browsing, a bit of video editing, you'll see somewhere between 6 and 8 hours, which is respectable for a 16-inch machine with a high-resolution screen. The moment you launch a game, the battery drops sharply. Expect around 2 to 3 hours of mixed usage before you need to plug back in. That's fine if you're okay with staying near a power outlet while you game, but it's a downside for anyone who expects a laptop to double as an all-day entertainment device on the go. Portability is where the Pro 16 Plus shines relative to many gaming laptops. At just over 4 pounds and a thickness that lets it slip into a standard backpack, it's far more travel-friendly than a bulkier, GPU-heavy machine. The Backlit keyboard is comfortable for long typing sessions, and the key travel is a pleasant middle ground, not too mushy, not too clicky. The HD webcam is adequate for Zoom calls, though it won't win any awards for cinematic quality. Let's talk price. Dell positions this notebook in the premium segment, and you'll be paying for the business-grade features: Windows 11 Pro, a robust warranty, and enterprise-level security tools alongside the high-end specs like 32 GB of RAM. If you compare that cost to building a desktop with a dedicated GPU, a similar amount of money can land you a system that runs modern games at 1080p with high settings and gives you the upgrade path a laptop can't match. The trade-off is clear: you get mobility and a polished business OS, but you lose raw gaming muscle. Who should buy this laptop? If you're a professional who needs a powerful CPU, massive memory, fast storage, and a reliable Windows 11 Pro environment, and you only dabble in gaming, think a few evenings of Fortnite or Valorant at modest settings, this is a solid choice. The display will please you for design work, the connectivity options cover both wired and wireless needs, and the overall feel is polished enough for client presentations. If you're a student juggling coursework and occasional game nights, the balance of performance and portability also makes sense. Who should skip it? Hardcore gamers who demand a dedicated GPU, high frame rates, and a laptop that can serve as a primary gaming rig should look elsewhere. Also, anyone who is extremely sensitive to fan noise during